I know that the title of the video may be different, but it is the same story. Blast has changed Bionicle Equestrian Saga series into one big old book, so please do not worry if you think that because the title is different, that it's a whole completely different book. Um, anyway, here we go. Bionicle Equestrian Saga, Chapter 4. We reappeared in a large hall. We reappear in a large hall of some kind, and I felt really queasy all of a sudden, probably due to the fact I just experienced experienced teleportation. Thank God I didn't eat anything this morning, I thought to myself. Bloody hell, you could have warned me. You're lucky that I didn't eat anything for breakfast, I said, placing one hand over my stomach. Sorry about that. It always ha- Sorry about that. It always happens to any point who teleports for the first time, Celeste says. I'm guessing when you say any pony, you're referring to your species. Speaking of which, what exactly are you? I ask. I know unicorns and pegasi are from mythology back in my world, but I've never seen one with both wings and a horn. With both wings and a horn. I'm an alicorn. They are aspects of all three types of pony, Celeste said. Huh, that's odd, I said. What is? Celeste said, her head tilted to one side in confusion. The German word "alle" means all or every, I said. Did the term "alicorn" originate from an old language as the as the word for every pony or all types? Yes, the ancient language of the Alicorns used the word "alle" to mean all. The language has evolved over time into German. How did you come to that conclusion? Blesser asked. I'll explain later. Want to get I want to get this I want to get this registration business over and done with before I go into my life story, I said. Spencer nodded and called a pony dressed in medieval-esque armor. Take his bag and books to one of the guest rooms for Minotaurs, he says. The guard, a unicorn, nodded before I felt my rucksack lift off my back and folded over to him, enveloped in a golden glow. The books and his horn and enveloped in the same glow. Be careful now. In there, some of the stuff in there is really fragile, I said. I really don't like leaving my stuff in the care of someone else, but I didn't really have a choice. Plus, I wasn't going to complain if I was getting a room to stay in. The guard nodded before walking out of the hall through large doors, and once he was out of sight, I turned to Celestia. So, shall we? I asked. Celestia nodded and walked towards the door. I followed her, taking note of the stained glass windows as we walked out, some of them depicting twilight sparkle, and floodsight as well as four other ponies I didn't recognize. Must I must remember to ask Lesser about the other four ponies once this whole registration thing is done, I thought to myself. We walked along large hallways, and my God, the architecture was amazing. Think of Lincoln, Lincoln, Leaking Cathedral, Leaking Cathedral, 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 but 10 times better. We eventually walked into a small. We eventually walked into a small room off to one side of the main hallway. At the desk sat a yellow-colored unicorn with glasses. I couldn't, I couldn't see the mark she had on a real due to the desk being away. On the desk was the plaque said Golden Tome. On the desk was a plaque that said Golden Tome, and she seemed to be signing or marking documents of some form or another. She hadn't noticed us walk in because she stopped writing when she looked up and she jumped in surprise. Princess, I didn't see you there, she said, trying to clean up her desk. Slasher giggled. There's no need for that. There's some pony here who wishes to apply for citizenship, Slasher said. Normally, I would just give him an occupation form, but I feel that this is a special case, as you as you can no doubt see for yourself. Indeed, Sir Golden Tom said, adjusting her glasses before stacking the papers on the desk neatly, levitating over a quill in piece of parchment. She dipped the quill in a bottle of ink before asking, Name? Verkonen. Buur space Koning. Species? Human or Homo sapien. Gender is male, she muttered her breath. Age and date of birth, 18 years old. Age and date of birth, 18 years old, and the 29th day of the first month, 1996 AD. Where I'm from, for reference, the current time is roughly the fourth month of 2014 AD. Okay, approximate date of birth is 29th of the first. Uh, okay, approximate date of birth is 29th of the first 96R 988 986 CR. Nationality and country of origin English. I am from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, often abbreviated to the UK. I am English. I am from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, often abbreviated to the UK. Do you have any existing physical or mental health conditions? And if so, what treatment or medication you are receiving? I sigh. I was diagnosed with attention deficiency hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. As uh, obstructive symptom disorder, or ADSD, and Asperger's syndrome. I take 24 mag of daily of benzoate hydrochloride, but it's only for helping me focus during education and isn't viral, I said. Okay, everything seems to be in order. We just need to wait for this to be officially accepted and you'll be a legal citizen of Equestria, Gordon Tom said. Thank you, I said as Leslie and I walked out of the room and along we were walking along. Cesar turned and looked at me. What does what do all the metal What exactly? What? Get up. What exactly do all the mental conditions you listed do? Remember when I remember when I made connection between the words Alcorn and Ali? I said. Sylvester nodded. Well, well, that is just one of the things that conditions like autism and Asperger's syndrome does. I see connections between things that not be so obvious to other people. The big downside, the big, the big downside is that most people with my conditions have trouble socializing and making friends, and in the most extreme cases, don't even talk or appear to be don't even talk and appear to be in their own little world. So in that sense, I am very lucky. ADHD just makes me hyper, easily distracted, although my opinion is slightly mislabeled. How so? Celeste said, tilting her head to one side. Should be it should be attention deficit hyper-awareness disorder, not hyperactivity. Look at that table, I said, pointing to the table we were walking past. Well, 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 you see a table. I see a table made of monolith wood with with brass candle holders, thin colored candles that have recently been dusted, although they haven't done a perfect job as there's still a small amount of dust around the base of the candle holder. The candle holder isn't perfectly in the center of the table, as it should be judging by the way. There's actually a small gap on one side between the dust outline of the base and the base of the candle holder itself. There's also a small scratch on one of the table legs, and the candle holder is in need of a good polish. Celestia eyes widened in surprise. Oh, of course, yeah, of course you will have us, and of course you will have seen all that, but you have only memorized the absolute necessary information. The of course you have, of course you will have seen all of that, but you only have to memorize the absolute necessary information, i.e., the table. Were you defected on your words? Celestia asked. No. For one thing, that line of work doesn't interest me. Were you a detective on your world? Celestia said. No. For one thing, that line of work doesn't interest me, and you need too many qualifications in things I'm not good at to be a detective. I am more into things like art and photography, I said. We walked by towards to the two large doors. We, back, we walked back towards the two large doors. Cesar stopped outside and addressed the guard that took my belongings to the room. Escort Phil Conan to the room with his belongings. Just as turned, Celestia turned towards me. I'm afraid I have business work. I'm afraid I have world business to attend to. I will send a guard when dinner is ready this evening. Do you have any dietary requirements? Omnivore, but in my case mostly cooked meat and potatoes. Celestia to stiffen slightly at that. I'm guessing points are herbivores? Yes, but no matter. I'm used to eating dinner alongside Griffins, she said, and she walked through the doors. The guard towards me, slightly wary this time. This way, sir, he said before walking towards the corridor. We soon reached what assumed to be my temporary room. My temporary room. I nodded in acknowledgement to the guard, who subtly returned the gesture, and I walked into the room to find my stuff in one corner. Finding myself with nothing better to do, I got my laptop out of my bag and turned it on. Bringing up the music player, I put the music on shuffle, letting fate decide which song to play. Emily started playing a flute for a couple of seconds before a guitar took over in the old-time Wild West style. I started singing along with the chorus. Crosses grow and ends. I started singing along with the chorus. Crosses growing on seal, with no souls asleep, where hell's 6 feet deep, but death must wait. There's no debate. So charge and attack, going to hell. To charge and attack, going to hell and back. I started air guitaring when the solo kicked in. For the rest of the song, I sat on the bed. I wonder, I thought to myself as I brought my hands to the helmet I was wearing. I removed it, and with surprising amount of ease. Several aspects of the HUD that was displaying when I was wearing the helmet now faded, such as the shield status. Walking into the on-suit off, walking into the on-suit off to one side, I looked in the mirror. I found my face almost the same as before I ended up here. The main difference being faintly glowing green eyes. It would look like to be lines you find on circuit boards were on different parts of my face. For instance, in the middle of my lower lip going down towards my chin, looking looking at my armor, I noticed that it was secured by looks like leather buckles. I secured what looked like it was secured by what looked like leather buckles. I took off my armor, starting my shoulder pads, followed by my gauntlets and chest plate, finally my leg armor and boots. Underneath was was what looked like a underneath was look what looked like a cloth of some sort, except on my lower arms, where the plate mail was looking like scales. I took this I took the cloth shirt and plate mail sleeves. I took off the shirt I took off the cloth I took off the cloth I took off the cloth shirt and plate mail sleeves, taking care where I removed the bandage. The skin on my chest and arms has similar line patterns as as on my face. My chest has some sort of green gold crystal embedded in it, in the center. Surrounding the crystal was a thin layering of metal, and when I looked at the wounds on my arms, I found they were healing quicker than I expected. I guess I owe Sakura for one for that. I turned on the water and sink in the sink and let it fill up. Once that was done, I grabbed a cloth and started cleaning my armor. Once my armor was done, look, brand new, I emptied the water from the sink and stripped off my leggings before turning on the shower and jumping in. Once I had finished, I put my clothes back on, but left the armor off for now. Wouldn't look right eating dinner with full set of armor on. Maybe I should go without it. I'll need to talk to Celeste about getting some more regular clothes tailored as well formal wear, maybe a cape as well. I need to get my plate mail repaired so I'll speak with Celestia about that at dinner. Just then I heard a knocking at the door. Speak of the devil, I said. I turned off the music off. I turned off the music on my laptop before walking towards the door. I opened it to see a guard at the door. This time was a different guard to the one that escorted me to the room in the first place. "Are you for Conan?" he asked in a deep voice. "Yes. I'm guessing you're here to escort me to dinner?" I asked. "Yes. If you would like to come with me, please. If you will come with me, please." He said, he said, and I walked out of the room, shut the door, taking note of the room number. We walked down the hallways for arriving at a dining hall of some kind. At the table sat Celestia plus two other ponies I didn't recognize. One was similar to Celestia, that she was a dark blue and had the mark of a crescent moon on her reel. Her hair looked like a night sky complete with twinkling stars. The second ones were a white unicorn with blonde hair and the mark of what looked like a map compass. Celestia noticed me and Celestia noticed and looked at me surprised. "Falcone, is that you? I almost didn't recognize you without the armor," she said. The other two noticed me for the first time, and the blue one looked at me curiously, while the white one looked at me why but the white one looked at me as if I was a stone under his hoof. "Falcone, I would like you to meet my sister, Princess Luna, and my cousin, Prince Blueblood," Celeste said, motioning to the blue one first, then to the white one. "Good evening," I said, bowing before taking a seat with Blueblood opposite of me. Princess Luna looked at me with great interest. Forgive me being blunt, but what exactly are you?" Luna asked. "I am known what is I am known what I am known I am what is known as a human." "I'm not exactly around here," I said. "And where are you from?" she asked. Try try start thinking of the world, and you'll probably be about of half in the right sort of area. "I come from a country called Great Britain. I was born in the capital city called London, and lived there for 11 years before moving up north, where I have lived until now. I ended up with a unique I ended up with a unique accent as a result." "How so?" "To me, you sound like you're from Tottenham," Luna said. "And to me, you sound like an American trying to do an impression of an upper-class British accent. Your point?" "And to me, you sound like an American trying to do an impression of an upper-class British accent. Your point?" "What I mean by unique is in London. I grew up in a part of the city where they talk like this," I said, slipping back into my London accent and even overphrasing a bit. The main difference between a, a London accent and a Northern accent is in the North, they is with the Northern accent, they stretch out syllables slightly and talk in a slightly bored tone. My accent is somewhere in between. The only reason why I don't sound like that is because the only reason why I don't sound like that because to talk, learn to learn to I learn to subconsciously speak in a neutral British accent when I speak to people with accents to mine, with different accents to mine. I finished my impromptu accent lesson. Several waiters walked into the room with a tray of drinks. One waiter was missing a tray and walked over to me. Excuse me, sir, but what drink you would like? He asked. What sweet cider? What sweet cider you would recommend that isn't too strong? I guess I could swear I could swear I heard and saw Blue Blood scoff at my suggestion, but I ignored him for now. I will recommend sweet apple acre cider, the, the, the waiter replied. Then I will have one of those, please, I said. Certainly, sir. And with that, he walked away. I turned to Prince Blueblood and asked, do you have a problem with my choice of drinks? Do you have a problem with my choice of drinks? As a matter of fact, I do. There are drinks that are suitable for meals with royalty, and cider is certainly not one of them, he said, and I could see Luna roll her eyes. Well, I am not sure what other types of alcoholic beverages that I even like on exist on this planet, I said. And what drink will be that be? And what drink would that be? He said with one eyebrow raised. It's called Irish cream. It's a mixture between cream and wine, and it's a sort of drink you have whiskey size in servants. Please forgive me, Your Highness, for the fact I only turned 18 years old 3 months ago, and as a result, I haven't fully discovered my taste in alcohol. I said the last part dripping with sarcasm. He bristled at my remark. Auntie, please have this counter removed from the table. I feel he will start losing. I feel I will start losing my legality, and he stays here any longer. He said in a really snobbish voice. Great, he's a snobbish twat, I thought to myself. Now, Blue Blood, played nicely, Celeste said. Her smile looked innocent enough, but the look in her eye was like a barely concealed storm. I got the feeling that it wouldn't be the wisest decision to piss off the princess, but at that moment several waiters walked into the room carrying trays of what I assumed to be food, and was surprised to see one of them was a griffin. He walked over towards me and placed a, a plate what looked like chicken breast and roasted potatoes alongside a glass of cider. Thank you, I said, nodding to the griffin. He walked away with the rest of the waiters. I took a sip of the cider and bite into the chicken before I turned to Celestia and asked, I was wondering if you knew any tailors who could sort out some clothing and footwear. Sort out some clothing and footwear for me. I will be the first to admit that it's impractical to walk around in a suit of armor all the time. While we're on the subject, I need to get a part of my armor repaired. One of Twilight Friend's Rarity, if I remember correctly, owns a boutique in Ponyville. I I could supply you with the necessary funds to cover the cost of travel. However, however much however much it will cost for clothes and repairs of your armor, I will send a letter to Twilight to let her know if you don't mind my asking how did you damage your armor. Celestia said, and I saw Blue Blood stiffen slightly when Celestia mentioned reality. When I woke up in Equestria, I was in the Everfree Forest and I got bitten by a timber wolf. I said, holding up my left wrist to show her. Speaking of which, I will need to go through combat training at some point. When I woke up in the forest, I was equipped with a sword. No doubt the guards that I have seen patrolling the palace will have will have received combat training of some kind, and I would join the guard fully. But seeing as I found myself in a new world, I would like to see much as I can. Plus, I'm not particularly keen on the idea of standing around waiting for something to happen. Waiting for something to happen. You could always apply for a role in the guard reserves. This time it was Luna who made the suggestion. They go through exactly the same kind of training, but only call into the service when needed. For instance, when a state of war is declared, or in a time of natural emergency, you'll be classed as a member of the Royal Guard, but you will have the freedom to visit other countries as you wish. And you sure they will accept me? I asked Celestia, considering my mental conditions. Of course. If anything, the systems you described, for instance, hyper-awareness and the tendency to notice things that most other ponies would ignore, will, will make them more likely to accept you. Very well, then, I said. I'll go to Ponyfield tomorrow and stay there a couple of days while I wait for my clothes and such to be finished. Maybe relax a little. Then once I'm done there, I'll come back to Canterlot to apply to join the reserve guard, and hopefully, if all that works out, I will start exploring the world. I said, finishing off my food once I finished talking. I quickly drank the rest of my cider before standing up. Please give my regard to the chef, Celestia, and it was a pleasure meeting you, Princess Luna. Meeting you and you, and it was a pleasure meeting you, Princess Luna. And I will try and stay out of your way from now on, Prince Bluebird. I wish you all a good night. I hope I said that right. And with that, I walked back towards the room I was staying in. I walked in and checked the battery on my laptop. Probably won't last the night. I looked towards the bedside of the table to find, to my surprise, a wall socket that was powering the lamp was the same style as the plug for the charger. I fished out the charger for the laptop and connected to the wall, and the laptop, and to my relief, the system displayed that it was charging. Thank God, the last thing I want is for the laptop to blow up because it uses a different voltage system. I checked the clock on the table and adjusted the clock on the laptop to match. I once again saw a calendar on the table and quickly checked how long each month was. I was again surprised that all the months were exactly the same as the ones on the laptop calendar, so I changed the year on the laptop to 1004 instead of 148 in the morning. And once I was satisfied, I went back into my rucksack and retrieved my camera bag. I got my camera out and checked for any damage. Satisfied everything was as it should be, I set it up, checked the systems. I looked out the window to find the night sky filled with really bright stars, and I decided to test its nighttime capabilities. I screwed a photo and a telephoto in onto the lens, giving a much wider shot of the night sky. I stood stiff as I could and pressed the shoot button about halfway down, waiting for it to focus before fully pressing the button. I heard the shutter click. And the capture image display on the screen. for a couple of seconds. I took a couple more shots in case I turn just in case before I turn the camera off and place it back into its bag. I made sure to put everything back into its proper place. I left I left the camera bag out of my rucksack, putting the books that I had borrowed from the library in its place. I can take some photos on the way to Ponyville tomorrow. Once I was satisfied everything was in order, I decided it was about time I went to sleep.